This is KGW News at 11.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm John Adams. The winter weather won't let up for parts of the area. At least 5 school districts now will start late tomorrow because of it. Now, Shanna sent us this video from driving down Highway 26 earlier today. Now, we reported at 5 there were a number of crashes and slide-offs here, as well as on Highway 18 and 22. Joe Ranieri has been tracking this all night for us tonight. And Joe, are conditions finally going to improve a little bit overnight?
No, unfortunately not. They're not going to be improving until late tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. Winter weather advisory is in place throughout the Coast Range and throughout the foothills of the Cascades over in Bend and Redmond, central and eastern side of the state. Again, winter weather advisory. We have a winter storm warning in parts of Lane County. We're going to be looking at heavy mountain snow throughout the Coast Range and the Cascades. And if you're wondering, is there a chance for the Portland area to see any delays? The answer is no. It'll look pretty in a few locations tomorrow morning, and that is it. This is the setup. We have that upper level low that's been bringing in that cold air. It's a stationary front at this point, so that's why we've been seeing just a copious amount of snowfall throughout both the Coast Range as well as the Oregon Cascades. Outside Timberline Lodge, you're looking at close to a half of a foot of snow in the last 24 hours. As we zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see where those snow showers are. The higher you climb is where obviously you're going to see a good amount of snow tonight. But again, that cold air is going to be dropping the snow level down tonight to about 500 feet. So Bull Mountain area, Chehalem Mountain, you could be seeing some light accumulation. Below that, I don't think you're going to see anything, but there could be some heavy downpours at times where the snow showers get cold enough where you do see the snow level drop a little bit. Here we are tomorrow morning, widespread snow showers near the 500-foot level again, where you could be seeing some light accumulation heading into the morning hours. But again, after your morning commute, you're really done with any chance to see any snow accumulate, at least throughout the metro area and the lower elevations, 500 feet and above, basically. But again, the Coast Range, the mountains, you'll be seeing that snow really pile up over the next few days. This is one model that shows a little bit of a trace amounts throughout the higher elevations near 500 feet and 1,000 feet. But again, 1,500 feet, John, is probably the best bet to see maybe 3-5 inches of snow. Again, that includes the Coast Range. So if you're going to be traveling in that direction, be ready for some very slick conditions here the next 24 hours.
All right, Joe, thank you. Well, in January, snow and ice battered Portland and damaged our roadways here in the city. That's why PBOT is kicking off a campaign this week to fill potholes. Ashley Grahams has the details.
It's a problem.
It's pretty bad.
We hear about potholes and paving problems all the time.
But not a new one. Potholes have plagued Portland for years.
I've lived my entire life since '65.
Joe Stanek lives off 82nd Avenue near Hawthorne. He says his street hasn't been maintained for decades.
It was repaved the last time in '72 or '73.
So when he got this flyer from PBOT on his door,
I thought it was about time. I've been complaining on PDOT's website for a long time.
We are kicking off PBOT's Pothole March Madness.
For the next 2 weeks, the Portland Bureau of Transportation will send extra crews around the city to repave and fill holes in the streets.
Because we had such an intense winter storm in January, our problems really grew as a result of that storm.
This project is focused on repairing streets east of 82nd, where PBOT says problems often go unreported.
Kind of been assumed that anything on this side of 82nd doesn't matter.
PBOT plans to mill and repave 20 sections of roadway in this area. One of those is on Southeast 84th.
You can see basically a line of pavement kind of running down the middle of the street that almost looks like alligator skin. It is really broken up. That is a result of years and years of deferred maintenance.
Stanek says this maintenance is a start, but he'd like to see more work in the future.
I would like to see Hawthorne done and Clay and Madison. I mean, none of the streets around here are in very good shape.
If you have potholes in your neighborhood, you can report it online or by phone.
Please tell us where they are. I wish we had a magic crystal ball that would tell us where every pothole in the city is, but we don't.
In Portland, Ashley Grahams, KGW News.
Well, Oregon law enforcement continues to investigate a deadly vehicle versus train crash in Eugene. A state trooper approached a driver whose car was illegally parked on Green Hill Road near the airport and learned he had been out of compliance with sex offender registration since 2019. Now, he fled when troopers tried to arrest him. After they lost sight of him, he tried to cross the tracks on East Meadowview Road and collided with an Amtrak train. He died on scene. No one else was hurt. Well, as Washington heads into the final days of the legislative session, a major policy could see a change due to a voter-backed initiative. Lawmakers held packed hearings last week, in part for a measure to allow police to chase after someone who is suspected of breaking any law. Now, back in 2021, the state restricted pursuits to just DUIs, escapes, and sex crimes or ones involving violence. Now, police have been calling for removing those restrictions ever since, blaming the rules on an increase in crimes like car theft. Others argue chases lead to more deaths. Legislators heard from two mothers who have very different stances. One said her loved one was killed by someone driving a stolen truck who had been able to get away from police days earlier because they could not chase after him.
Each one of you has a huge opportunity to prevent future tragedies from happening. Please listen to the 420,000 Washingtonians who signed the initiative.
Running away, was that the cause of his death? Could they have mailed him a ticket? All of these questions run through my mind daily.
Well, the other mom says her son was shot and killed by police after he drove away and was chased after originally being stopped for just having expired tags. The initiative is expected to come up for floor debate this week. If it passes, it will become state law. Well, the debate over flavored vape products continues in the state of Oregon. Earlier this week, a proposed ban on flavored tobacco was again put on hold here in Multnomah County. On Monday, a demonstration will be held outside the state capitol in Salem to ask lawmakers to ban menthol and flavored products across the state. The American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network says big tobacco uses flavored products to hook kids on nicotine. Lawmakers have not introduced a ban on flavored products in this legislative session. Advocates hope they will make it a priority in 2025. Well, a music school in Lake Oswego is forced to adjust following the mid-January winter storm we had here in the area. The rehearsal space at School of Rock was badly damaged by flooding, and they've had to scramble to find a space that meets their needs.
The first feeling was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And then immediately, John immediately went to, we need to get these kids on stage, because we were ready to do shows. We were literally just 2 weeks away from our season shows.
Well, the school went virtual for a time being before they were able to find 2 temporary practice places. But the challenges aren't over yet. The owner says the original studio is covered in mold now, and it could take months to find a new permanent space they can call home. Well, a heads up for drivers in Tigard. The Hall Boulevard 217 overpass closes for 9 months starting tomorrow. ODOT will demolish and rebuild the overpass to make it wider with bike lanes and ADA compliant sidewalks. The new bridge will be earthquake resistant, have a slightly bigger footprint, making room for auxiliary lanes on Highway 217 below. Now, ODOT says the added lanes will ease some of the ramp-to-ramp congestion and lessen the number of crashes. Now, this is all part of a 4-year, $158 million renovation to the 8-mile freeway. The Hall Boulevard overpass should be open in December. You can find a link to this major project on our website, kgw.com. And TriMet will soon move one step closer to completing a years-long extension project of the MAX rail service. Starting tomorrow morning, the new Gateway North station will open, ending a weeks-long disruption to the blue, green, and red lines. The station connects to the airport to the city center with a newly built track and 2 new bridges, promising improved reliability of the red line.
Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of NASA Crew 8. Go Falcon, go SpaceX, and go NASA.
Another successful launch for NASA. 4 new astronauts are heading to the International Space Station. They're scheduled to arrive around 11 a.m. tomorrow. And among the crew is a pilot and Washington native, Michael Barrett. The 64-year-old physician grew up in Camas and worked for NASA as a flight surgeon before he was selected as an astronaut candidate back in 2000. The team will spend 6 months in space conducting more than 200 experiments and technological demonstrations. Good luck to them.